Hi, this is Dan Ensel, Prudential California Realty. Today is Monday, April 25th. Here's what's going on both nationally and in California. Just got the statistics for the March figures for sales here. So, nationwide, number of sales actually increased 3.7% compared to February. Not unusual. February is a short month, so that March is almost always better than February. But we are down 6.3% compared to March of 2010. But in 2010, we actually had federal tax stimulus for home buyers that actually boosted the numbers there. So not great, but not that bad. 1/3 of all those buyers on a nationwide basis were actually first-time buyers. So that number still continued to be high even after the federal tax credits for new home buyers there. So that's unusual to see 1/3 of the people being first-time buyers there, but that's what's going on out there. The 35% of all sales on a nationwide basis were all cash transactions. That's sort of a combination of a lot of investors buying. 22% of all the sales were sold to investors who are buying up these properties either through foreclosure or dealing directly with the bank, sort of in bulk there. It's also functioned that loans and mortgages are really still difficult to get, especially for higher end properties. So again, 35% of all transactions nationwide cash, very, very high. The median price nationwide was down 5.9% from March 2010. Part of the reason for that is 40% of all the properties that have sold on a nationwide basis are distressed properties, whether that's foreclosures or short sales. So typically the figure is around 20%, but it's 40%, so those tend to drive prices down. They actually tend to sell for about 20% less than non-distressed properties there. So again, there's still a lot of those in the pipeline. They're continuing to sort of drag the market down with them. Inventory levels up 1.5% on a nationwide basis, so again, not a huge increase there. They do, for the figures there they've told you, they break it down into 4 different regions, and different regions are performing differently. The western states where we live, is actually probably doing about the worst there. The number of sales is down 0.8%. And the median price for the western states is down 11% compared to a year ago. So we're still seeing a lot more of the impact from the foreclosures. And you've got western states, Nevada, Arizona, California, states that have just been hammered by foreclosures, short sales, distressed properties. So that's what's going on a nationwide basis and in the West. Let's talk about what's going on in California. Headline says, home prices dipped in March from a year ago, down 2.4%, and that's the 6th year-over-year decrease in prices there in California there. So again, distressed properties are continuing to pull down the market in the western states and in California. Median price went up 2% in March compared to February, but again, not unusual. Usually March is a stronger month in terms of number of sales and in terms of price compared to February. In California, foreclosures accounted for 39% of all sales, and short sales accounted for over 17%. So between the two, almost 60% of all sales were in some sort of distress, whether they were a full-on foreclosure or they were almost there and they got intercepted and sort of worked it out with the bank as a short sale there. So still working through a lot of difficulties with lenders there. It says that the 15-year average for foreclosures is 14.5%, and again we're at 39% right now. So we still need to work through that. It seems like we're sort of bumping along the bottom. In the last 8 months, it's been sort of up and down, whether prices and activity's been up. So that's actually good. I mean, once you hit the bottom, it's not going to be a V-shaped recovery. The expectation is we will bump along that bottom for probably a couple years as we sort of work through the distressed properties and get more loans out there available to buyers and sort of work through the process there. So where we're at is not unexpected, but again, sort of seemingly bumping along the bottom right now. So that's the report for both nationwide and California.